Okay, this is for a friend, Ted. I'll just say Ted. Um, yes, he sent me a audio clip about another friend that I had, mutual friend, uh, Deb Carroll. Okay, and I stopped the audio clip because I've said this before. If I don't stop and write it down, it's gone. Because the speed at which I'm transmuting anything that is less than what I am, which is what love is, it goes on forever. Okay, so I've been doing that since I had this Christosophia avatar up and running at 4 years of age in 1955. And so you made a remark, and that's where I stopped the clip, right there, so that I could address what you said and the importance of what you experience. But it's not for me to decide what's important to you, because I'm both a teacher and a student at the same time, because there's always something more to learn about who I am by what I create next that is different from the last. I'm an original artist. That's source code. I'm a co-creator. I'm Emerald. Okay? And so the beauty and what I call the genius in being androgynous, is atmospherics, atoms, atom spheres are in perfect balance. Perfect equal distribution. So I'm always at zero. That means I don't hold one electron captive. That is not very intelligent, do you think? If you use basic logic and you want to run a circulation speed, would you want to be able to circulate electrons in circles of fire as fast as you possibly can? Because what is the result of that? A firewall called a shield, like a universal, galactic, and a planetary shield, like in a Know-Me code shield. See what I'm saying? So when I lit myself on fire, what that means is that I serve forever with the first server. And the first server is the first spirit, which is the first sacred son of Yana, Yani. Okay? That's how simple it is. The resistance factor to let go is born out of control. And control is born out of fear, which is a low vibration, low frequency, because their consciousness fell. So how do they restore what it is that they've lost as a result of what they've done in the use of their technologies that are cell destructive? And they fall. That's a morphogenetic field structure that fell, which is a formation of units of energy. Units as in unicycle. Atoms that cycle. Stars that cycle energy through communication networks. So when you said, how did you put this? I've done this many times. You are what I am of everything I'm giving love to. And I believe you said you were experiencing being what she is, and she's experiencing what you are. Bingo. You hit the jackpot. The bell goes off, the first sound. That's called learning speed. Because now you're going to realize that it's in the best interest of another unit of energy to experience what you're experiencing, which is what love is, which is what they're experiencing, which is what love is. That's called a seamless transition to experience being one with the first morphogenetic field structure. Now you're with the one. Now you're with the first sun. Now you're with the first spirit. Because now you're experiencing what love is. And that's real light, which is living energy, because that's eternal energy, which is creation energy, which is the first engine, which is the first star. We're always with the first star, So I'm always serving through the first star. That's Christos Sophia, which is pro-life, not anti-life. That's the antichristic spiral. That's a black mirror. I can't see what it is that I am, which is what love is, because everything in that mirror is what love is, because everything that I am, which is what love is what I'm using to experience it in my mirror. So that everything in my mirror is what I am, I'm giving love to. That's what it's like to experience being one, where two becomes one magnet. That's a self-generating monad. Now you just set yourself free. Now you're on fire. That's right. Now you're on fire to give energy away, because the energy that we're using is what love is. That's zero resistance to do that, which means you're not living in fear of letting go of every electron, because you're not in fear of your creator. You're in love with your creator, because the first creator is eternal love. So you know how it is when you're dealing with a Mr. Smith. It's your fault, Neil. Remember, you know how the psychobabble. That's what it is, the babble, the convoluted language. You know, when somebody gets exposed, right, they're going to accuse you of what they suffer from. That's the victim-victimizer experiment. We're all familiar with what a psychopath does. When you expose what it is that they're held captive to, that is preventing them from experiencing zero, they're going to blame you and accuse you of what it is that they're held captive by. Because you didn't protect them from what it is that they did as a result of what they do with their energy. Because they refuse to take responsibility for the use of electrons in the harm they do to others. Because we'll get the feedback. Remember the video I did on Rose Suite about report cards? Mapping galaxies, mapping universes, mapping consciousness fields. How much light are we losing? Remember, when we're running 100% sensing capacity, remember I did the video, time rip technology, ceiling breaches, entry points, exit points. The movie Avatar, the ripple effect. Ooh, that's called disturbance. I'm experiencing turbulence. I'm supposed to experience zero, which is zero turbulence, which is no broken arrows. And a gyrodome, which is a gyroscope, which is a neuroion transmitter. The chemical messengers. Right? I got the message all right. So it's just like another lady that sent me a beautiful message this morning. She said she was processing the alchemy of the codes. So I shared that with Lisa. And so you see how this works? She was experiencing somebody else that she had a conversation with the other day, and she came back and told me she felt very disturbed. Okay, so that means that you're processing the codes that that other person was experiencing by virtue of what they communicate, by virtue of the codes that they're running within their template, which are resin codes, and it caused her to feel disturbed. Do you want to experience those codes? I don't. So that's a difference in codes. That's called a code operator, which is a DNA code operator. Code talkers, which is known as signets, which are signals. So you're experiencing the frequencies and the codes that that communicator is using to be what it is that that being is experiencing in them. Now you're experiencing the disturbance of the turbulence that is within their codes that you're experiencing in you. DNA terminals, nodes in a network. One node or one terminal is communicated with another terminal in a network. What did it feel like? I didn't like what it felt like. Then turn that channel off. Okay? Who wants to experience that? Because the codes that are represented by the codes that that terminal is running is unpleasant. It's disturbing. Who wants to experience that? Is that what love is? So when I was 4 years of age and I had this Christos avatar up and running, I set the executive command because I'm not a fallen spirit. And what did I do? Anything that is less than what I am will automatically be transmuted. I don't even have to think about it. It's automatic. Right? So if another terminal, another DNA template is sending me frequencies, codes, signs that is anything less than what I am, it's going to automatically get transmuted because I know what I am. So I had to stand my ground when I was a kid, but I had to be careful because everybody else is now going to realize you're not a machine. You're not held captive by machine codes, but you're exposing everybody that is because you can read their resin codes. That's right, I can because I run source code, Crystal Sophia code. So you're not going to be able to bullshit me, no matter who you are. And that's why I don't argue with psychopaths. That's why I told Karen and Luke McDonald, I'm not going to play on an AI game. I teach these classes on how to operate in an AI battlefield environment. I do not play war games. I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I'm in love with who I am, which means I love to play music with my creator. Okay, I'm always at peace with my creator. Always. That's what eternal peace is. That's being in peace with the first creator spirit. That's Crystal Sophia, the first spark, the first sound, the first creation sphere, the first circle of fire. So I don't argue over basic logic because you're supposed to know logic. Log. What is a log? An exponent. You want to accelerate a universe that's in love with itself? Yeah, that's basic math. That's basic arithmetic, which is calculus, which is polarity. So when you cancel out the polarities, when you cancel out the clock between the right and the left, when two poles become one, now you're a self-generating monad. Now you're on fire. Play music. So I've never allowed myself, ever since I was a child, because I'm still a child, the inner child, the inner eartha, the encryption code of inner earth, right? I don't allow myself to be insulted. And what they insult is my creator. I am what love is. See ya. Now you know what I am. And it doesn't matter to me whether you believe that or not, because you're not me. You are who you are. You're on your journey. I'm on my journey. Remember, now we're back. I might as well cut my head off, and then you can tell me more about who I am. And that is key when it comes to your own identity function. Because what is a function? Form follows function, which is the mathematical codes, which is the programming. Right? That's why sometimes I used to have a lot of fun because I looked male to you. I would introduce them to a lady that worked in Air Force Communications. It's Lemurian Light. And she had a wicked tongue that would just cut people in half and destroy their arguments. You know, so I'm just saying, because it's different when a female talks, right? That's a mother. That's a mother putting her foot down. So I came in a male avatar because I've said this before, because of the job that I had to do. Less obstacles. If you understand how to translate that. But I can be anything. My energy's in everything. When you're a self-generating monad, self-replicating similar patterns, it's born out of what love is, right? I'm in everything that I create, which means that's a reflection of who I am in my own mirror. Remember, now I'm back to I'm everything that you are that I'm giving love to. Okay, so when I look at a squirrel, I'm everything the squirrel is. When I look at a tree, I'm that tree. When I look at a cloud, I'm the cloud. When I look at the sun, I'm the sun. Just like when I do work out here with the sun, I'm everything that you are, I'm giving love to. And the sun knows that. That's called first contact. You have arrived. You've learned to become one. When you learn to become one, you're with the first one. That means there's no turbulence. There's no broken arrows. There's no collisions. And the collisions you can find in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. About the inverse square, inverse proportions. Proportions equal in value, equal in form, waveform, equilibrium states, equal sharing, which means there are no power struggles. There are no power trips. Now you're experiencing the first power generator of an eternal star. The one that goes on forever in spirit form. That's how simple it is. Have a beautiful day. We love you all. Be good to yourselves.